on Saturday. All right, good Tuesday evening. I'm not going to be on screen here just right now. I'm going to be. So, John, this is John Newman, Sports Card Nation, Tuesday edition of Hobby Hotline Overtime. We're also joined by Bo, 1 Million Cubs. All the ugly guys on the left side of your screen are in Atlantic City, and the handsome guy on the right is home. We miss him. We wish he was here, but it is what it is. And we're going to do a weird edition. I was going to say special edition, but weird might be a better term for. We're also joined. He's on the screen there. Wave Mr. Danny Black visiting us at Sports Ball. He does some radio and podcasting. And his son Connor, who's there he is. We're going to corrupt him tonight. He doesn't know it yet. So. We went to the show today. They're not officially open for business, but it's setup day, and we figured, let's do what we're doing tonight. Talk about some stuff, but let's kick it to Bo. What any FOMO?
No, well, now of course,
Yeah, Bo.
Not until 2 minutes ago.
So again, today's setup day. We went there, pretty busy. A lot of people there setting up. A lot of people walking around too. For me, it was the first time I've ever been there on a Tuesday. Kind of different and neat, but kind of funny story. We went to Walmart after we left the show to pick up some provisions. For the house here. We're in the beach house. We're about 3 miles away from the convention center itself. And we went to Walmart and ran into the Singles Club, Chris and Cody from the Singles Club. And if that wasn't enough, Brad spotted Brody and his parents, Brody the kid. So it was like reunion at Walmart. Some funny moments there, but then we cooked out, and I almost started a fire, so it'll be the last time my spatula has been pulled. But let's hear from Brad or whoever else wants to jump in here.
Yes, you are no longer allowed to cook dinner.
Yeah, I just want to add that it was Cajun style.
Listen, it still tasted good.
And there's no coincidence that I got here right after dinner.
Yeah. So I just cooked them faster. We were hungry, so I just blasted them, and we speed char grilled. So I guess let's go around and just Bo, you just did your show, right?
Yeah. So I had the Madison Card Show this past Saturday, and really, I didn't expect. I was pretty shocked at the results of Saturday's show because I didn't expect the National to affect a small show like mine. And last year, just for example, the National was in Rosemont, which is basically from my card show venue to the Donald Stevens Convention Center is 2 hours, little less than that. And I bet I talked to the customers and dealers that I spoke with at last year's Madison Card Show. About 80%, maybe even 90%, were not even going to the National when it was a 2-hour drive. So I didn't expect much of an impact to my show, but I was wrong. There was a buzz in the air. I had a lot of dealers, a lot of money coming in that were specifically there to buy cards to take out to Atlantic City this week. Reports from most of my dealers were this was the best show they've had all year. A couple of my dealers said some guy just bought half my table because he's gonna go to the National next week. He wanted inventory to take wanted some stuff on hand. So I didn't expect that to happen at this show. Now, granted, last year to this year, there's I have 4 times the amount of dealers that I did in 2021. So it's a little bigger show than it was a year ago. But with the national being out on the East Coast, I didn't think there would be a big impact, but there was. So there's that some people are saying I'm not spending any money until the national. I'm saving all my money, but
That's me.
there's a lot of money that's moving hands. Yeah, and there's a lot of money that's moving hands for guys that are looking to flip, get ahead. They're looking for inventory to take out to the national or wherever the national is, each year ahead of that big show.
Now, following up on that, Bo, were any of them dealers set up at your show, or were they just people in attendance? In other words, was any of your dealers going to be national dealers too?
Yes, yeah. So probably, a very small percentage. I would say probably 6 to 8 of the dealers that were set up Saturday at my show, were heading out Sunday or Monday to Atlantic City. So I think I had 70 different dealers, 75 different dealers, and maybe 8 to 10 will be set up as dealers at the national.
Yeah. Well, that's a decent number when you consider the distance and where they're traveling from. So, now when you schedule your shows, you're not worried about when the national schedule. It just works out that way.
No, well, I schedule around the national. I make sure it's not, because with last year's show, with it being in Rosemont, I'm when it's in Chicago, I'm there the whole 5 or 6 days. For this year's show, I had planned on going out to Atlantic City, so I wanted to schedule it the week before, and then with the success I had this past weekend, I've already put in my dates for 2023, and so I did see the national next year dates were set, so I made sure to put that Saturday before the show, and if that much. If that many transactions are going to happen when the national's in Atlantic City, I can only imagine what it's going to be like in Chicago with a lot more local people, making that trip down. Yeah,
that's great. John Keating asked us, was there any product on the shelves? I got a confession to make. I did not. This is crazy. I didn't even check. Did any of you guys? I don't know. I can only speak for myself. Did anyone look at the card out at Walmart today?
Yes.
You did?
There was nothing blank.
It was blank.
Nothing? Not even wild card?
No, Upper Deck Series 2.
Upper Deck Series 2.
Where'd you see it at? Because we looked.
Oh, no, not that
Select
one.
No, we're talking about the Walmart we went to.
There was nothing but magic. That's all
Magic.
there.
All right.
Yeah, it was terrible.
Yeah, probably Brody bought it all.
All the dealers bought it out of
So, yeah. So, all right, why don't we kind of go around? For me, like what I'm looking for at this national is I want to see kind of like what you said, Bo, is what the temperature of sales is going to be with everything going on in macroeconomics and location. A lot of people don't like, let's be honest, are not fond of the location. They call this the worst one out of the rotation, if you will. All due respect to Atlantic City. So I want to see sort of what the vibe is in the room. Are dealers happy with the sale? How the stuff's going to be priced, right? We know for the most part, a lot of the comps have come down. Are the dealers going to price accordingly, or just still try to get, squeeze every penny out of it that they possibly can? I'm also going to predict this. I said this on my show yesterday, I believe. I believe it's going to be announced that Fanatics has acquired Panini. I believe, again, I don't have any insider. It's just a gut hunch, and that's even a real thing. I think it was been a done deal for a little bit now, and I think that they're waiting for this week to publicly announce that. Again, I'll probably be wrong, but it doesn't cost me nothing to say that and be wrong. So that's my bold prediction for this week. But we can go around Logan, your mindset with this week going into this week.
Well, going into this week, Val and I are going to just meet up with friends. Try to promote Hobby Hotline, promote NASCAR radio. Of course, we'll be looking for what we always look for, which would be racing cards. So that's pretty much our agenda. I don't have any specific card I'm looking for to buy. So that's kind of what we want to do.
Yeah, so it's really interesting because I have a very different perspective than a lot of people. I just got done doing the Dallas card show. I went there and saw that, felt the temperature in that room. And then last weekend I was a dealer at what I thought was going to be a small show in East Texas, and it ended up being 60 dealers. And then now I'm here, so it's completely it's very interesting. And I'll give you Dallas. It wasn't dead, but it was like there was a lot of people trying to trade and not a lot of people buying. East Texas, best show I ever had. The room was hopping. Everybody was very happy. Everybody was the sales were incredible. Everybody was extremely happy. The kids were awesome. It was absolutely amazing. And then today, wow! I mean, it was the first day of the national. It was pretty large.
Actually, it's not official.
Well, all right. Well, for me, it was my first day. I went in there. It was kind of what I expected size-wise. It was kind of what I expected.
Wait till tomorrow.
Okay. But you got to remember, I've been to SEMA, I've been to CES, I've been to these larger shows. So I'm saying for today, I waited. I did tell you, John. I said this is very large. But when we walked into the room, I said this looks like CES or SEMA. So it'll be interesting to see the different dynamics tomorrow. It was really cool to see guys from Dallas there. It helped make me feel a lot more comfortable. We got a very special surprise from Jimmy, and I extremely was flattered and walked away awesome. John made a sale for a signature for soldiers.
Yeah, real funny story. So I was, went to go talk to Tim and say hello from Signatures for Soldiers, see his setup, and he had left for the day. So I actually called him and just to talk to him, and I had something that I had to put out in his stand, and I want to know where to leave it. And while I was on the phone with him, a gentleman came up and picked out, a $5 autograph card that he wanted to buy. So I asked him, I'm like, can I make this sale for you? I'll give you the money tomorrow, I promise. So I made $5 additional for Tim and Signatures for Soldiers. Also on that, while we're on that subject, real quick, for those that don't know, we're doing a main stage set for Hobby Hotline. Everyone part of that's going to sign the cards. I printed 10 of those sets to be signed. We've already sold 9 at $20 each. That's $180. I'm going to match the $200 myself, and Brad is going to do the same. So we're gonna get in the name of Hobby Hotline, Signature Soldiers is going to get $600 from this show, and every little dollar obviously helps that great organization, and so that'll be our contribution. And I like to do more of that kind of stuff. Maybe a little earlier start and get ahead of that a little bit more, and kind of hustle this year to do that. But happy to say that. So, but go ahead, Brad.
Yeah, I completely lost my train of thought. That's all right. But no, I met a lot of people from Dallas that I didn't even think would be there, and just really had a good time, just kind of walking around and getting used to everything. So it'll be interesting as we go along the next couple of days because of how new this is for me, and being able to put out content, what that's going to be like, and comparing and contrasting against Dallas, against smaller shows, against the large consumer electronics, and my experience in the past. So it's going to be pretty interesting.
Danny's guest starring today, but you might see him in the future more. But in from Baltimore, and you brought your family, and Connor's here, and he was sitting next to you. He's disappeared.
Where'd you go, Connor?
He's renegotiating his contract.
So, your thoughts. This is obviously not your first national, but kind of your thoughts coming into this week, what you're looking to do or see or observe.
I mean, other than it being, simply Disney World, it's my fourth national. This one's a little bit different. Business-wise, this is actually probably my busiest going into the national, but it's also the first time I'm going to have my whole family with me. So we're playing both sides of that coin and excited for all of it. The cool thing is how many things are actually doing for kids now. Going back to last year, the change in the demographics is so overwhelming. The amount of first-time visitors last year and the amount of first-time visitors this year, you've almost got an entire national audience all over again in first-time visitors the last 2 years. So I'm really excited to see what that does to the show this year as opposed to previous years.
And Connor, you're here to spend all your dad's money. Am I correct? All right. That's
If you need a Pokemon advisor.
So he's a Pokemon expert. Val's off the screen like me, but I'll and I want to welcome Ryan from Breakout Cards. He's just came in from a run, if I'm not mistaken. That's dedication right there. But
So did we.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Val, your thoughts today?
No marathon. It was an easy 4 miles, but I got to get my 20 miles in a week right now on maintenance. Need to get back to whole.
So when are you you're coming to the national. When are you arriving?
Thursday afternoon. So I should have taken an extra day PTO off and gotten to the national earlier. Big mistake, but I just didn't know what my plan was until a few months ago. But my flight, unfortunately, from Orlando leaves at like 1 o'clock. There was no earlier flights, only one flight a day. So.
Wow.
Well, maybe there'll be an Orlando National someday.
There should be, though. Like, the convention center here is huge. There's so many direct flights, like, all across the country to Orlando as well. Plus, you can bring your family. Like, anyone can.
Can we authenticate Mickey as a
Maybe that's why they don't have it in there.
What is the real print run on me?
So, Val.
Yeah.
Chime in here.
So just some of the things I stopped by. I always love to stop by Baseball Card Exchange and look at their display cases.
Yeah.
So some of the things that caught my eye: 1991 Topps baseball wax box, but it's Desert Shield version, 45K.
Woo! Is that all?
That's it.
Write a check.
75 Topps baseball wax box, 35K. 75 Topps wax box mini, 12,500.
Wait.
Is that my connection or are you losing them as well?
I think it's their connection.
Yeah. I was like, I hope it's not mine. I
was wondering because my Wi-Fi connection sucks down here, so I think it is their connection.
Mine's
because they were talking about Baseball Card Exchange 75 Topps Mini. A friend of mine, I went with him to Baseball Card Exchange to get one wrapped, a 75 Topps Mini. Really? So I missed what the price was. So I don't know if their connection was up. What was the 75 Topps Mini priced at?
12,500.
12.5?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's about right where I thought it would be.
Yeah.
And then a 71 Topps football cello for 110.
Yeah.
Well, that's it.
Yeah. So those are some of the sweets. Of course, there's a whole run of like Star Wars boxes from 77. All the different series. I don't think they had prices on them yet, but there's always nice window shopping at Baseball Card Exchange.
And they do the deals every morning. Remember, or during the day, it's on their Facebook page.
Rich is wrestling with his computer, but we're glad to see Uncle Rich wrestling with us.
I'm gonna fix that.
I think Rich just got
I'm trying to make this Ricky connect.
Rich, battle out of that move.
The Blair Witch Project.
Okay, we'll go back to a more normal. Oh, that was not good.
Rich, kick out. Your arm is still loose.
Hold on, I'll fix this. Jeez.
Well, you know, there's a
Jeez.
saying in the financial.
That's the last time I looked
You
at
can
how my
get upside
the
down.
screen
Rich
is done. There we go.
down. I don't know
There
what
we go.
Rich got upside down.
Okay.
All right, I think.
Hey, all I gotta say is I heard the Desert Shield box. I wonder if Kyle still has the box he paid $2,000 for at my show about 7 years ago.
Well, I just want to say, Rich is live from the satellite. What's the satellite orbiting?
I'm the satellite office, and this is actually the home office.
You know, the Russian cooperates with us. Yeah, I think they're off there now. But
for those who aren't aware, my lovely wife, was diagnosed with the lovely COVID-19 on Sunday, and the doctor told me, since I was exposed to her, not to travel for 5 days, which basically said, "Why bother flying up on Friday?"
Well, we miss you. We wish you were here.
Hopefully next year in Chicago, it's an easier trip anyway.
Yeah. Well, we wish Dina, speedy recovery.
Her fever broke this morning.
All right.
All she's got left is exhaustion and cough. So,
well, I have that already, and it's day one. So
so I'm happy about that. But hey, wait a second. If John's cooking, Bo, you've got competition. Bo has a cooking with Bo.
Not really.
And so now we're gonna have cooking with Newman.
Listen,
is Ryan
it
also
depends on the
cooking
dish.
with
I can
Nolan?
make certain things.
Competition and futility.
Yeah, apparently hamburgers on the grill are not my strong suit, but it is what it is. But well, we miss you, Rich. But we have you on the show tonight, and that's probably
You got me on the show tonight. Remember, I'm the redemption card. You can't have a hobby set without a redemption.
Yeah, well, hopefully we'll do a better. Hopefully you'll get those things signed quicker than some of these athletes, or we'll have to.
Well,
it's up. It'll be really weird to sue Rich Klein for not getting his card signed.
It's up to TX Card Dude to come down and do lunch so we can get those cards done quickly.
I ain't doing no lunch with you. Got enough COVID? Come on.
You don't have it. He's good.
What?
The question is, did she give it to Neil?
I'll be right back.
All right.
The doorbell rang.
Someone is docking with the spaceship, so he's got to go link up. But Peeps asked the question, guys. I'm missing some of the comments.
It's not a meteorite.
That's what the burgers look like. So listen, it's an NHL puck signed by Sidney Crosby. All right. But Peeps asked the question, guys, and being that there's a lot of casinos nearby, will that be a factor in what people spend? Yeah, go ahead, Danny.
I think it's actually a lot of the people have the same mentality who are collectors and gamblers. There's a huge overlap, especially on the big spenders. So I don't know that if they'll have an impact on their buying. I think it'll have an impact on their hours they sleep.
Yes. I mean, I plan on at least taking in 2 hours at some point, just because I can't come to Atlantic City and not. That would be,
sacrilegious.
Yeah, not sacrilegious, but I do go play the slots at home. I do have fun every once in a while. So if I'm in Atlantic City, I'm going to. But I've set aside a certain portion of my budget to do that, and it is what it is. And I think people have decided to do the same thing now. Is that going to limit, or did they bring a little extra? I don't know. But I haven't really. I guess we really didn't ask anybody today if they were going or not.
Well, we know Mike Moynihan's at the casino.
Mike's
we spoke to him, so I'll give the cop-out answer, right? It's pretty like you lose money, you're probably going to spend less, and if you win, you're probably going to spend more. I know it's a cop-out answer. I used to be more of a gambler in my younger days. Now I'm more, when I do gamble, it's usually on sports or something that you have, at least better odds if you follow sports. It doesn't mean you win, but at least you have a little more knowledge in when placing your bet rather than a complete game of chance. But I like to play blackjack every once in a while, so we'll see. I don't have any plans to definitely gamble. I can live without it too. So
well, I'd like to throw in one addendum. If we're counting gambling, the lottery tonight at $840 million will affect my buying.
Yeah. I just want to win that one time. I'm not greedy. I just want to. Heck, I just want to win for life. $2,000 a week.
There you go. There you go.
And the thing is, there's a casino. Gambling is legal in Illinois, and there's a casino. The Rivers Casino is not far from the venue in Chicago in Rosemont. I don't know if there's a sports book there. Sports gambling is also legal in Illinois. I don't know if Rivers has a sports book, but I mean, there's a casino within walking. I think it's within walking distance of the Stevens Convention Center. So I don't know if that. I know from it wasn't the National, but a friend of mine who I was working a trade with at one of the big shows in Chicago at the same venue won like 24 grand at the casino. So he was spending a lot more money at that card show at the Chicago Sports Spectacular than, what he normally would have done. So it definitely impacted his spending at the card show. And like you said, if you lose money, you're probably not going to spend as much money. So, it could have an impact one way or the other. And, just like most gambling goes, it's 50-50. It probably hurts just as much as it enhances the spending.
How was the pizza, Rich?
I was going to say, the more people that gamble, or obviously you're losing money from that, and then people not being on the floor in time, some of the dealers might sell cards a little bit cheaper to get more sales. So as a buyer, you want to see that. Plus, at trade night, if people lost money at the casinos, they might want to catch up on that side of things. So you might be able to find more deals.
Bigger gamble, the casino or breaking?
Well, Ryan's a breaker now, so he's
That's why I asked him.
Hey, wait a second. Ryan also has. I didn't realize how many shows you had on your website.
A little bit. I'm trying to do 7 shows next month. So
No, I'm talking about how many shows you list because I sent you my information today.
Yeah.
I was amazed by how many shows you had listed.
I try to keep them all. It's too hard though.
Well, yeah, but some people like me send them to you, so
yeah.
Because I was bored. I'm off this week, so I said I'm going. So I actually also created a Facebook page, event page. I didn't take an ad yet, Bo, so I'm not quite up to your level. We're trying to do it on the cheap. So So I just created an event. By the way, that was merciful. The reason I went wasn't a good, joyful reason. Charlie Chu decided there would be a good time to start choking on whatever she had been eating.
So you had to do the public maneuver?
My wife did. She's well enough to do that. So yeah, we took her outside and she did the public maneuver.
I had to do that. All joking aside, I had to do that on my boxer that is no longer with us.
John, by the way, I saw your photo on Facebook. Who's your dog staying with?
My mother-in-law and my son. So
your son's not coming down for the trip?
No, he was off. I offered him. I don't want to, I don't want to sound like a bad dad. He could have if he wanted to. He's got a girlfriend. I think he's working on almost 2 years with her. So now he's got the whole house to himself. So I think.
I was going to say, why don't you bring them both down? Now they have an extra room.
Yeah, I think he weighed his options. Go to Atlantic City with mom and dad, or stay home with my girlfriend in an empty house. He did. I think he did what most 22-year-old guys would do. I can't blame him. So, but I just, he's a good kid. I was gonna say, I just hope the house is still, standing when I get back. But he's pretty responsible, so we should be all right there. But yeah, I told him he could have went, but he likes cards. He's not into it in the same way we are. So
John, there was an interesting topic we were talking about on the way here about that Mickey Mantle that's in auction right now. That's apparently it's at what
5.1 million right now.
So I'm predicting it will not, and I'm actually going to go on record right here. I'm predicting it will not hit 10 million. I think it's more hype than not. That's my prediction, and I'm saying that right now. And if I'm wrong, I'll eat crow, but I'm predicting it right now that it won't.
I think it will.
Nico Cena doesn't serve crow. Otherwise, I'd be happy to see you eat crow.
Whoa.
I'm going to say 12 million.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm kind of with Bo. I think it's going to be 10 million plus for sure.
9.8.
What I will
I think
From what-
the Al Rosen connection makes that one a little bit more unique.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
that's we didn't think about that, Danny, with the Mr. Mint tie in there. That definitely has
it's even on the label.
Right.
some caveat.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna go. I think one of these rich guys or girls. I don't want to disclude somebody rich is going to pull the trigger and just say I have to have this card. And listen, besides buying the card, what do you get? You get the record that it holds, right? Most money paid for a card in the history of the
But I'm
hobbies.
going to make another prediction. The 1914 Babe Ruth, a different copy, not the one the Babe Ruth Museum has, a different copy will break 10 million this year also.
Oh man, there's some both.
Ooh,
They're only like 50, there's only like 15 known of that Babe Ruth card,
I know.
and it is from his rookie year. It's a minor league card, but it's a rookie year card.
1914 International Orioles. Yep.
So is it considered a rookie card or not?
Minor league.
No, it's not. I don't know if you. It's not.
It's a Bowman's first. It's a Bowman's first.
It's a Bowman card.
It doesn't have the logo.
It's a first card, but it is from his rookie year.
Yep.
So you could call it rookie adjacent. And
Well,
there's like, as I said, there's like
it's
14 or 15 known, and it's a 1914 card. It's legit. There's less of that than the Mantle out there.
Yeah.
You know, that Mantle sold for $50,000 in 1991.
Yeah.
The same auction, the Wagner went, the one now in Kendrick's collection, the owner of the D-backs went for $450,000. So, hey, 50,000 to 10 million, that's really not a bad percentage increase.
So I actually recently a story a day and a half for a YouTube video I uploaded today. So during that find in '86, when he went to Quincy, Massachusetts, he found apparently over it was between 50 and 75 mantles off of this person's collection, and a few of them actually graded 9s. So the lesser copies, the guy that one of the owners of a PSA 10 mantle had 2 of the 9s from that collection he sold to upgrade to the 10, and also in that collection. I can't remember the guy's name. It's escaping me. It's not the owner. It's the lawyer that owns the Mantle PSA 10. What's the guy's name?
Is it Marshall Fogel? Danny Black.
Fogel. So Fogel bought 2
Credit to Danny Black.
Credit to Danny.
I could
2 or 3. I've lost count.
Yeah, 2 or 3, and they were both 9s, and he ended up selling them to upgrade to a 10. But he was saying that this one was the nicest one. And comparing the centering, the 9.5 compared to some of the 10s, this 9.5 has better centering overall. So I'll be curious to see in person, because one of the 10s is in person also at Collector's Universe. And you can see the 9.5 at Heritage, so to see them side by side.
Well, do you guys think that,
I will tell you that since that phone was from Rosen in '86, those cards stayed because most of Rosen's coterie was East Coast dealers. So you would see a fine card at the shows, and you could tell immediately which cards in the showcase were from the find. So you'd look, okay, that's a fine card. And if I was smart, I would have sold I would have put every penny I had, which I didn't have, into those cards instead of playing with 87 tops and selling sets of $25 a piece.
It's amazing. He paid $100,000 for all, $125 for all those mantles, and then from the research it said he sold them all for $475. And that one card did sell in '87, but then he rebought it back for $40,000 and then flipped it for $50,000.
Yeah, and that find was absolutely amazing. I think it was a Sunday night find, and the word got out real quickly. And it was basically he opened a bunch of cello packs, and he had to, and I won't mention names, but he was at the time Rosen didn't have super amount of capital, so he was floated the capital, which is why he had to get the cards out basically immediately, so he could pay his friend back the money that was floated out for the cards. After that, he didn't really need to have money anymore from anybody else. He made enough on that, but that's one of the reasons those cards showed up so quickly instead of taking their sweet time to show up into the secondary market.
So are the stories true shortly after that, or I shouldn't say shortly, but probably years and stuff after that, Rosen would literally throw $100,000 on a showcase and get the first tables at every show? Is that
Al would publicize the heck out of your show. He would bring money with. When he first started, I knew we'll call it his bag man. It really wasn't a bag man, but I knew the guy who carried the money for him and all of that. I knew all his friends because a lot of them were my hobby friends too. And yeah, he'd put he'd put $100 bills out. And the thing is, anytime I wrote any story about Al Rosen, I got more response to those stories than anything else I've ever written. It's amazing. If I put a Net 54 post about Rosen, I'll get 100 responses. People still talk about him to this day.
I was kind of comparing him in my video to like Ken Golden, where he's kind of controversial, but like he got the biggest cards.
He did. Yeah. And the other thing with Al is, I know, as I said, it's pro and con. I never had a real problem with Al. Al did have a little slight falling out with Dr. Beckett. So he'd sometimes take it out on me a little, but we always got along just fine. He would just yell at me a little, and then we'd go back to normal conversation. But I never had, Al would sell me stuff occasionally. I'd get him stuff. He was always very professional to deal with. And the funniest thing was that for 3 straight years, I sat next to him flying back from the National. That's the way the plane tickets worked. In '86, the weather was so bad, I ended up driving him home because his driver didn't come to the airport. So I drove him home on a stormy night and then got myself home.
So you were Miss Daisy.
I was Miss Daisy for that night. It was like 1 a.m.
He's like home, James.
This is the '86 National in Arlington, Texas. Brad, were you there?
I was there.
Okay, so that's the first time I'd ever been. Not the first time I'd ever been as an adult or adulting to Texas. I had gone apparently to Houston. My father had done a long-term project in 1964 when I was 3 years old. So I saw my first baseball game at Colt 45 Stadium. I'm probably still in shock just from the mosquitoes. So one of my great stories is I ended up going to Old Timers game at 86 Arlington National. They had Old Timers game Saturday night. Wanda Marcus screwed up and forgot to get me my tickets for the game. She was so busy. She says, I'll give you my tickets. So her tickets are really good. They're also in the sun. And it's 6 o'clock at night.
Yep.
And I've had a long day already, and I'm sweating. Yep. And anytime a vendor came by with any drink, up went my hand. I didn't care if it was soda or beer. This was one of those rare things where I literally just drank liquids. And I don't think I had 10 drinks between soda and beer in 2 hours. No, actually less than that, in about an hour, just to stay hydrated that day. And then I'm thinking, why the bleep would anybody ever want to move to this godforsaken city? 4 years later, I moved to Arlington. 4 years later, I moved and joined that.
That stadium was hot. Oh my God.
Yes, it was hot, Brad, and I'm sitting in the sun.
It was brutal. I mean, I'd sit out in the outfield doing dollar hot dogs and just trying to drink as much beer as I could get away with for $3 a beer just to stay cooled off. It was hot out there, man. And
see, I'm glad somebody else understands just how bad Arlington Stadium was.
Yeah, but that still was a beautiful, beautiful ballpark.
It was. It's a very nice, overgrown minor league ballpark.
Oh! Let's see how long the redemptions take now.
Globe life is beautiful, but a real pain.
It is. And the barn's not that much better sometimes.
So we're running low on juice.
No. So Danny, get your question. You got a question.
How much value does a celebrity tie-in on a card make it? You had the Charlie Sheen, Tito Sitch Wagner. You've got the Al Rosen collection. There's been other ones. Does that add real financial value?
Bo?
That's tough. I think it depends how it's marketed. If you just throw it at an auction, and there's really no marketing around it, which I think you could say that for any sale. If it's not marketed to, this is the Al Rosen, card, probably not. But I think there's a slight, and I think, for example, this Al Rosen mantle, I think there's some, I think there's a little bit of a premium on something like that. I think there's still enough people that recognize what it actually is. But it's, I think it's a case by case, if it's just some random celebrity, if it's who's a celebrity that's collecting cards, I don't know, Drake. If it's a Drake logo man that was pulled out of a break, I don't think that really adds anything to it. But if it has some type of historical significance, like Al Rosen and that Mickey Mantle, I think yes, it does. So I think it's case by case.
Right.
You can even see with old player-owned cards. I think it was Al Kaline that recently sold his collection, or like someone in Al Kaline's family. Al Kaline passed, but someone in his family sold the collection. And some of the cards marked like part is the Al Kaline collection. I don't know how much they sold for it, but I assume there's some type of premium on there, especially like if that player owned the stuff. So it'll be interesting to see, like eventually down the road, some of the Mike Trout stuff, because apparently Mike Trout now owns a lot of his own cards. He's starting to buy them. So we're going to see in 30, 40 plus years, the Mike Trout collection go to auction. What would that do?
Well, I think it's the only time in the card collecting where the provenance actually comes into play. We're used to that in the collectibles, but for a card to actually have it, I think that's where the story comes into, and you create that connection. I think, like you said, it depends on the celebrity. But, when you have a story like the Al Rosen story or some of the other ones, there probably is a premium.
Provenance is underrated in this hobby, and we don't have enough of it. And the more provenance we can create, the better hobby we'll have long term. And I'm not talking about just value. I'm talking about there's a few collections that have provenance. Some of the grading companies do slab certain cards from people as say, like, for example, when famed collector Lionel Carter passed, all his cards were slabbed by SGC as the Lionel Carter collection. Lionel had one of the great.
Gelman Young.
Yeah.
How about the Black Swamp Finder, also the 33 Gaudies that were signed a few years ago? Those all
Right, the Uncle Jimmy find earlier.
Yeah, the Uncle Jimmy collection.
Did Garagiolas get labeled?
It should have been. Garagiola was a huge collector.
Yeah, no, I thought his collection, that some of it did get labeled in his collection.
Well, it looks like he's going to pull out some Provenance card he's got.
If he can find it with amongst all the cards behind him, I mean,
Right.
Well, too, if you look at some of the old tobacco cards, they have stamps on them from different collectors, which are kind of cool. I know when I was at the non-sports show, there was a card stamped as the Burdick collection. Should have bought the card, but we were asking $200 for it. I thought it was kind of cool.
And they're not always stamped that way, but Buck Barker put his name on a lot of the back of the cards, and he's a legendary collector. And one of the few cards I ever regret selling was I had some post-serial cards that had his name on the back.
would that be something that maybe in the future might have a little bit of provenance or something like that, where you've got, we've got the Desert Shield, we've got the 150th. Oh, well, let's say you put, like, I don't know, the Jeff Wilson collection or the
or the John Newman collection.
There was the Dr. Newman, the guy in Florida.
Right,
No relation, unfortunately.
or even the Dr. Beckett collection. Or,
There was a guy who just left a million-item Nolan Ryan collection. So,
Yeah.
By the way, that's in this town. Did you know that? Stockton University.
You think I'm that good accidentally?
Yeah. All right. So we drove by it. If in case for those that wondering what we're talking about, a gentleman with $1 million Nolan Ryan collection donated that to Stockton University right here in Atlantic City. So I joked as we drove by it, like we should go visit the Ryan collection, but I'm sure it's off limits unless you're enrolled in school. But
I could enroll in classes for a day.
yeah,
They're making courses around the collection.
yeah.
wow.
So you can actually take the course.
Are
Just
they
study Nolan Ryan
online?
collectibles.
Are they online?
It
Because
better not be for that.
Well, because the reason I ask is I have to get some college credits for my certificate. If they don't tell me what I have to take it in, I'll
I
do
don't
it.
think a 12 to 6 curveball gets you credits.
DR's talking about President Biden having a card. I think I've seen photos of Dr. Fauci's office with baseball cards on the shelves.
Well, remember how big the Bernie Sanders card got?
Exactly.
So if we know fame and the the President Bush cards were the 100. I think 100 went to PAX, and I think 100 were specially ordered for him. And so, there's maybe 200 of those out there. That's a pretty cool card too.
I saw both those at a show. I think it was the TriStar show in Houston. It's so cool seeing them side by side.
I remember when they broke, because that's like 18, 19 years ago, and we got both sent to us at Beckett the same day for grading. And we just all didn't know either. And it had just broken, so we were able to do some research and figure out what happened. But it is cool to see them back to back.
Yeah.
Or face, next to each other.
I don't know what those run, but it's kind of cool history just to have one.
Yeah, with the 9.5 Mantles, you could always just crack them and resubmit them. Until you get your 10. If you get an SGC 9.5, just crack it and send it to PSA till you get a 10.
What happened if Nat Turner buys the card and then cracks it?
I'm just gonna get a pre-sub and sell it there.
This actually looked like a 10, so I just.
By the way, we really haven't started drinking yet here. Just want to add that disclaimer. Bo's got a head start. Bo started without us.
Well, I don't. I think I'd be missing because I drink water at this point in my life. I drink water like Ryan.
I'm with you, Rich.
Well, the other problem is when I started dating my wife with all the, as some of her health histories, she couldn't drink anymore. So if she couldn't drink anything, guess what? I wasn't drinking anything, so I rarely have any. I think maybe a glass of champagne at a wedding, and that's about it.
Yeah.
Ryan, you can have champagne at your wedding when the time comes.
What's up, card collector? What is up, Big Perm? Love you.
Give that money.
Dr. Fauci, he spelled Fauci wrong, but that's all right. We forgive you. Is a subscriber of Hobby Hotline. Well,
I hope so. Hey,
listen, he's welcome to call in. He's a fellow Brooklynite. So,
hey, he was a point guard in high school and a pretty good one.
Dr. Fauci, if you drop in the chats, that'd be fantastic. If you have any card questions, Dr. Fauci, submissions. Do you need tips from Nashville, Dr. Fauci?
I have a Dr. Fauci bobblehead. I'll admit it. It won't be on screen.
I can tease something, but I can't talk about it. But I do know Golden is making a big announcement tomorrow morning. I promised I'd be embargoed before Fanatics. I promised I'd be embargoed from saying anything about more than that till 9 a.m. tomorrow morning. So let's just say that there will be things being dropped at the National.
Yeah, before you came on, Rich, I made a bold prediction. I don't know if
I heard Fanatics. I heard Fanatics and Panini. By the way, Fanatics did post on LinkedIn that they have a deal with Alabama now. And the NIL, so they're actually working with Alabama, the biggest college football program in the country.
Nick Saban just got richer.
He sure did.
Yeah. The expanded partnership will feature e-commerce rights, new primary fan apparel and headwear rights, stadium retail and physical and digital, trading cards and collectibles.
Alabama's getting back into football cards. There's been a few.
I think Fanatics signed a non-exclusive trading card deal with Alabama.
Yeah, but still, they're going to do Alabama trading cards. I wonder if they're going to be in uniform, which will be certainly better than anything Bowman U does.
That's the thing with Bowman U next year with all of the colleges that Fanatics signed up with. If they have an NIL contract and the college contract, they'll be able to be in uniform.
Well, and that's the other thing. Since Fanatics owns Topps now, Bowman U could have, as you said, all the people in uniform.
Yeah, I expect that for next year. As long as there's not a high, some unsung Division II or Division, or I guess it wouldn't be Division II, it'd be Division I AA, or low level non-Power 5 conference Heisman contender that's not under contract, but most of those Heisman contenders would be most likely under contract with Fanatics in their deal, because I think they signed an exclusive with like 100 universities or somewhere around there. So
I believe the first NIL deal was Spencer Rattler at last year's National.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think.
But as I said, as I've been saying, I expect this national to be different. I expect real news to be broken during the national.
Oh, is that us or them? I don't know.
Ryan, what did you do there? That was like magic.
No, my thing just cut out or something. I'm not sure what happened, but I don't know how much was said about the Bowman U stuff, but I'm just thinking about the baseball side of things. Now we're gonna have 3 rookie cards to chase after. You got your college rookie card. Now you're gonna have your first minor league card, and now you're gonna have your first MLB card. So that'll be fun.
Cards for Bo to buy. That's all.
But the model
That's right.
sells with the Bowman first. I mean, people buy the Bowman first like crazy. They're going to replicate that with the model.
But like, is this it's like the Bowman University now still considered like the first Bowman, or how's that gonna work now in the minor league systems? Or is that gonna completely eliminate stuff? So now people have to prospect people all the way back to college and say, all right, 6 more years until they get called up.
That's a good point with baseball. With your first Bowman, it's essentially a minor league card. If they do, they haven't done. I mean, the big difference between college football and basketball and college baseball is nobody really cares about college baseball. I mean, in the grand scheme of things, and I know I'm gonna get heat on that, but in the grand scheme, nobody cares about college baseball. I love baseball. I love Bowman baseball cards, and I don't give a crap about college baseball. But will Fanatics come out with a first Bowman NIL product for college baseball players that are potential first-round draft picks? I don't think it's a big seller.
He's been doing college baseball.
What's that?
Well, I think Ziggy commented. There already is high school baseball cards.
It's with Panini and like the Team USA.
Yeah, like Upper Deck has like 6 or 14 or it's either 14, 16, and 18 year cards for like the World Series championships on that side of things for like USA baseball, and then also they have their sets as well that Leaf does too. So I know
but if they did a first Bowman, would that be because Panini does Team USA? There's the Upper Deck, and no, he really buys that stuff, and that's kind of. But here I am. Let me finish.
We've had team.
And here I am in front of this Bowman U wall, and I can say the same argument, but football collectors aren't prospectors. But yet here I am in front of this Bowman U wall. I'm kind of contradicting myself with this argument because, I'm kind of stepping out on a ledge with football, expecting that to be, a big seller.
So my whole thing is like, if they make Bowman U baseball, right? And are they going to officially assign the first Bowmans then, or are they going to assign the first Bowmans when they have their normal baseball Bowmans? Because that's where I'm kind of interested in. Because if you go back to like 2010, they had the issue with the Team USA cards they threw in Bowman, and then some of the prospects in 2011 and 2012. They would put their first Bowman card in 2010, but then players also had like a 2011 card or 2012 that had the first Bowman logo. And there's people that argue which one it should be the first technical Bowman card.
We'll bring back the.
Well, do any of you remember that John Smoltz has a 1984 big league card? Where you would mail away, and and they'd make cards of you. It was the company Jim Bounton founded. There's a John Smoltz card from like when he was 12 years old.
Big league cards.
Big League Cards, I believe, was the company, and they made cards, and there's a John Smoltz card from that. So
real quick,
interesting. I did not know that.
I might have to buy one of those.
It's a tough card to find.
Ryan, I'm a little disappointed. You have to write that down. You got a mind like a trap. You can't remember John Smoltz 1984. I'm almost.
It's something like that. I mean, Ryan should do a little research because I'm going from memory, and I haven't seen that card in a long time. But it's definitely it's like a little league card. So it's like 82, 81, something like that, and it's really a cool card.
Yeah,
there's none on eBay right now.
We're gonna prospect.
And mysteriously, all the ones listed on ComC are somehow.
You feeling better, Charlie?
I don't know. I don't know what happened.
Okay. Anyway, guys, it's been real, but Charlie's having a busy night, but now she's giving me the signal she wants to go out. So, guys, have a great national. I'm sorry I missed you all, but I had to take care of certain health issues. What does Chris Harris say? Keep on rocking in the free world.
That's right. Yeah, we miss you, Rich.
I'll miss you all too. We'll see you next year in Chicago. And I'll be listening. Don't forget to plug Friday and Saturday.
All right, we will.
All right,
Okay.
I got to give some shout outs while Rich is leaving. I got a shout out to my boy, Mr. Ziggy No. Michael, what's up? Got a shout out to Victor. Can't wait to argue with you over rookie cards. Cannot wait. Let's see. Who else is in here? Peeps? What's up,
Peeps, KBO.
Look
Victor, we talk about rookie cards. This be like the Victor sign, like the Batman signal.
Exactly.
I think it goes up and he like just magically.
You know that half
appears.
of the main stage is going to be he and I arguing about rookie cards.
Well,
you know that, don't you?
I'll have to just walk off and let you guys go at it. Dan Ryan from my neck of the woods.
What's up, baby? What's up, Dan?
Although I'm not there right now.
Yeah, what's up, Canton?
Someone, I can't remember who it was. It might have been John Keating, said, did I bring the Jackie with me? The answer is no. And I also locked it up because my son is still at home. So I added a little.
John told us the story. His son is not looking for Jackie Robinson.
No, and he won't find it because I locked it up. So no, I didn't bring it with me because it's not for sale, it's not for trade, and only something bad can happen.
But I will say this: everyone that we met today asked John if he brought the.
I know, it was weird. It's like, we don't care about your hair. Did you bring the card? Like, no, I didn't. So
you big timed yourself.
Yeah, I guess so. But that's all right. But yeah, we miss you, Bo, and well, we'll see you, like you said, next year in Chicago. You know, I usually take 2 months and do not buy anything before the National now. No, let's not do it. We got shirts. We got skid mark shirts. We don't have to say it. Actually, we just did.
We already said it.
But, Rich reminded us not to forget we'll be live on the main stage. Unfortunately, 12 of us now instead of 13 with Rich not making the trip. That will be Friday at 10 a.m. From the Mike Burkus main stage. So if you're at the National, come see us. We like to, take art like the show itself. We like audience participation. So if you have any questions for us, we can debate or argue over. We'll gladly accept that challenge. And Saturday, we'll probably do something like this in maybe a back media room, guys. Again, just kind of, the show will be almost over. It'll be sort of a wrap-up show of what we've seen for the week. And then we can also give props to me for calling the Fanatics deal with Paninis.
I hope that like before we go on the stage.
That'd be something.
Yeah, that would be. Well, it gives us
grabbing everybody over.
Yeah, it gives us a topic to talk about. They might wait till like the last day.
Even if they buy Panera, it'll be good to have news.
Yeah,
that's true.
Panera.
It's Panera Panera.
Yeah, same thing.
That's the best I could do.
Yes. All right. Well, we're up at about the hour mark, guys, and
Let's start drinking.
Yeah, Bo's getting the drink, and we have to wait till the show's over. So we probably should have just did a 30-minute show to get to that, but we didn't do that. We wouldn't do that to you. So, again, the Friday show will be on the Nationals stream. You can check out their website to find out where that is, and then Saturday we'll be back on this stream, like I said, doing a wrap-up show. We appreciate it. Bo, thank you from joining us. Ryan, comes in off running 4 miles and just to show off, and it makes us feel bad. Now we're going to just drink a bunch of mojitos to celebrate. But we hope to see a lot of people here in Atlantic City, much like today, but when it really gets underway. And thanks for everyone joining tonight, and we'll see you. We'll see you here during the week and at the end of the week. Thanks, everybody.
Peace. Come shake a ball. Shake a ball.